What? Why are you shaking your head?
You're welcome.
What's up, Fantasy Points? This is the DFS cage match for week 10. Every Wednesday night on this channel, myself and Jake Tribby and a rotating third guest draft against each other on DraftKings. We do a little snake draft on DraftKings, again, staying within the salary cap, and we play for charity. $100 going to go to the charity of the winner's choice. Fun little game that we play here. Our guest today is the head over at Run Pure Sports, Matthew Wiley. I see a ladder behind you. I see a little ghost behind you. How you doing tonight?
Good, mate. Good. I realized what happened now that I was in the wrong studio. You know why? You know what happened?
Why?
I clicked the link from last July.
I was going to say, I thought that it was probably that the last thing that I'd sent you before this link was another StreamYard link. Yeah, that makes sense. And this one was like somewhere hidden within the Twitter DMs because I had searched for your name and it went to like some weird. So
it's in the chat feature now, the beta chat feature, which all messages get lost. So yeah, I was going to blame you, but I blame me. I'll take it on me.
All right. I mean, it's partially my fault for not intentionally using the beta chat feature. I've never used that feature before. It just came up because I searched for your username.
That's right.
To find you, to DM you rather than just going to your profile and clicking it. So it is what it is. We got here though. Yep. We're going to be doing some drafting. Should be a good time. Jake, before we start drafting, talking about our charities and whatnot, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing as good as a guy who always loses the cage match can do, Neil.
Yeah. All right. That is reasonable. Wiley, you asked me what goes into the show, and I told you about the contest. The one thing I did not tell you is that we're going to be looking at our teams from last week, and we have this week's guest take a look at last week's guest's team and give a short review, which you can say as much or as little as you want about Jordan Vanek's team here. This is the team that Jordan Vanek drafted, put up 103.62 fantasy points last week, and this team got third in the contest. Is it big enough? Can you see the team?
Yeah, I can. I didn't see defense, but I see everything down to flex. That's okay.
Okay.
Well, I'll say that Jahmyr Gibbs looks familiar to me. That was a popular play of mine. I thought that he would be the best stud play at the 8K above range and clear out a lot of the mess up top, and he did not. Tucker Kraft looks familiar as well. Now out for the season. That was a perfect play by me. You could spend $700 less for 38-point Brock Bowers, but why would you do that?
Right.
Why? You could have Tucker Kraft for 4. Double stacking Gibbs and St. Brown with no Goff. I thought Detroit would lay one on Minnesota. We were wrong there. And a run back in Jefferson with McCarthy. Overall, this lineup should have produced points, but didn't.
Yeah. Should have produced like 140 points or something like that. It was never going to catch a team at the top here, but not too bad of a team. Jake, you got second placed last week, put up 128.04 with a nice performance from Jackson Dart. Some things went well here, a lot of things went wrong. How do you feel about the team?
Yeah, pretty disappointing game from Jonathan Taylor. Also, would have hoped for a bit more out of Jordan Addison, especially with McCarthy and the Vikings playing relatively well. The thing I was most excited about with this team was getting a $4,700 Travis Hunter in what would have been the Travis Hunter breakout. Fortunately, I had to swap him to Alec Pierce, who was actually a guy that I was way overweight on last week. Ended the week with, I believe, 22 expected fantasy points, so an awesome workload. But did not, 20 fantasy points is fine, but just not quite a tournament-winning score, especially given the scores that we saw in that Chicago-Cincinnati game. This lineup was okay, but it's the same deal, same story with me every week, Neil. The lineups are fine, just not enough to get it done.
When I saw that Travis Hunter was out, I was thinking that maybe you would also get on to Kyle Monungai, but you couldn't because you already had 3 running backs. So you were not able to swap in the flex, unfortunately. But yeah, nice game from Alec Pierce there. I've been winning so much that I decided to actually leave like $1,600 on the table in my lineup, and I swapped from DeAndre Swift to all the way down to Kyle Monungai. So leaving some salary with my lineup, and it was not enough for me to lose. I took a 0 from Romo Dunze, a 3 from Kamani Vidal. None of that matters when you get 38.7 from Caleb Williams, 37.3 from Christian McCaffrey, 46.3 from Brock Bowers, and 25.8 from Kyle Monangai. Those four just carried my team, and I can't be too mad about that. The players that I really was targeting were Vidal, who sucked. McCaffrey obviously was somebody that everybody's targeted, but like the values were Vidal, Swift, and Brock Bowers. So it was one that I really, he was a big focus of mine all of last week. Obviously that went as well as it could have gone. It went to overtime, scored a third touchdown there, had a great game. But yeah, you just don't need that much more when you get as much as you did out of those four players essentially being the nuts. Everybody else kind of flopped. Jennings was fine. I guess Wandale was fine. But yeah, those four kind of carried me. So I'll take it. And that is 4 wins in a row for your boy. As the guru says, we are going to have to start a GoFundMe for Jake's charity soon if he doesn't get a first place soon. I just played for Jake's charity just 2 weeks ago. So they did get $100 from Neil playing for Jake's charity. But you can still start a GoFundMe for the cause if you want to. That one, of course, being Friends of North Augusta Animals. And Jake, you can say a few words about them if you'd like.
Yeah, great local animal charity by me. Maybe one of these weeks, eventually, they'll get $100.
They got $100 from me at least, so maybe they'll get another $100 from Jake. And yes, you guys can all feel free to donate to Friends of North Augusta if you feel bad. Last week I played for a food shelf here in Minnesota, 360 Communities. I actually don't know if this is a national. I know that they have food shelves here around Minnesota though, so I played for 360 Communities. This week, I will be playing for Healing Hearts Rescue, which is, again, where we got my dog who passed away about a month ago, but it's a great rescue. They do great work here in Minnesota. And then Wiley going to be playing for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. Wiley, any words on St. Jude's?
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, the tour does a tournament with St. Jude in, I believe it's Memphis every year, and having kids, and it's such a gut-wrenching thing for parents or families to go through this. So anything that we can support helping kids out, I would say we'd do that. So
yeah, it seems like a great cause.
Of course.
All right, and then we will start the draft. Jake, I believe. Wait, who goes first? I think you go before me this week.
I believe I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Where do I go?
You go wherever you want to go. So Jake is going to go before me, and then you as a guest get to choose if you want to go first, second, or third.
It's Snake, right?
It is Snake.
Yeah, third.
Okay. It's just going to be Jake, then me, then Wiley.
Okay.
All right. I really think there's only one option here, given that DeAndre Swift did get a limited practice in today. I'm going to go with Rico Dowdle as the first overall pick. Dowdle did not practice, but the coach speak on him was very positive. There was a quote from Canales just a few hours ago suggesting that he should be good to go this week. And he finished the game last week, so not particularly worried about the Q tag there.
I kind of got the sense from the quote that it was like they're resting him because they're planning on giving him such a big workload this week. So they're like, all right, we'll rest Dowdle this week. All right. So that was pretty quick, Jake.
I'd like to go first again. Sorry.
Yeah. Strong pick there.
Thanks, Jake.
And I agree with you as I'm trying to make my choice. This is a tough one. This is not a week where it's like super obvious where we would like to go. But I will come up with a great pick anyway. Man, another Q tag that would look pretty good to me also. We don't have the Brock Bowers play this week. I'm gonna go to a mid-range Zay Flowers 5,900 against my Minnesota Vikings. I think they have a pretty strong defense, but Zay Flowers just a lot better with Lamar Jackson active. Seems like just a nice price tag on Zay Flowers. Honestly, not like a real standout play to me, just to like find value. This is kind of a tough week, is what I am discovering as I'm trying to look through the strongest picks. Wiley, you do get back-to-back picks here. Have you had enough time? No, you got need a little more.
Since I'm going to be away here for 1, 2, 3, 4 picks, I need to start stacking. So I'm going to do a Buffalo stack. I'm worried a little bit about James Cook. I'm going to go in order. Dalton Kincaid, tight end. For Miami's abysmal record against tight ends in terms of fantasy points, and I'm going to stack with Josh Allen. I'm going to do a thing I don't typically do and pay up for quarterback this week, but this week I've been doing a lot of hand building, and that's where I'm going with my money.
Interesting. So we're stacking it up. Are you working under the assumption that James Cook is not going to play, or does that not really factor in?
I think he's going to play, but he has ankle and foot problems early in the week. I think a heavy dose of ownership this week. This is not for this room, but a heavy dose of ownership is going to James Cook this week. So I think Allen vultures the touchdowns.
Yeah. And Kincaid just like not running all the routes, but he's been targeted pretty heavily when he is out there. Seems to be a favorite for Josh Allen.
Sneaky 26 points last week, but Brock Bowers just absolutely smothered it, so you didn't hear much about it. But
I didn't realize I didn't remember that he put up 26. That is kind of nuts.
Yep.
All right, and that the value tight end kind of helps you with the pay up of Josh Allen. That makes sense. All right, I'm gonna go with. So I already got a value wide receiver. Oh man, there's another running back that I really like who doesn't project especially well, but he's more expensive than I thought. You know what though? I'm gonna do it anyway. I don't care. I'm going Quinshon Judkins, 6,500. Feels a little expensive for DraftKings where it is full PPR, but this matchup with the Jets after the trade deadline, I think this is going to end up being like a Cincinnati type matchup where it's just like every week, whoever runs against the Jets defense is going to absolutely eat. So I'm working under that assumption. I probably could have waited because he doesn't actually project all that well or that well point per dollar. But I think that he's just a play that I really like this week. Anyway, I think he has big upside and a relatively strong floor as well. Jake, you get 2 picks now. You have 54.62 left per pick.
Yeah, so I was really hoping he would come back around to me. Christian McCaffrey, 26 expected fantasy points per game this season. That's about 20% better than the next best workload since 2021. He's also averaging 16.4 receiving fantasy points per game. That's more than Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Emeka Egbuka. Game's got a 49.5 total. Just another great spot to play McCaffrey. I imagine he's going to be super popular for anybody who wants to pay up at the position this week. Then things get a little trickier for me. I definitely need some wide receiver value. And, I think these wide receiver picks, Neil, have gotten a little bit harder as the season has gone on because wide receiver scoring has been generally pretty terrible this year, especially if you exclude sort of the top 4 or 5 options, the JSNs, the Pukas, the Rashee Rices of the world. Then, that mid-tier has been absolutely brutal at wide receiver this season. I'm going to go with a $4,500 Tez Johnson here. I don't feel great about it, but Baker is a ton of fun, and I think Johnson has looked pretty impressive this year overall. Really just want pieces of this New England-Tampa Bay game. Think this is a really good game environment to attack this week.
Yeah, Tez a pretty strong point per dollar, which surprised me a little bit when I saw how well he projects point per dollar. Do we think there's any chance that Chris Godwin plays this week?
No, I feel like this is going to end up being like a lost season for Godwin.
Yeah. They had their bye and he's still not practicing. Seems pretty bad.
And everything around this injury has just been so strange. I imagine the reality has been like he's been way more hurt than they've really let on. And the recovery hasn't gone particularly well, and they're probably regretting handing him that huge contract. That was like the only bullish note on Godwin all year, right? Was that massive contract. That was pretty much the only reason people could give for why they were drafting him in best ball, and it just has not played out.
He played a game though, didn't he? Or am I misremembering? I thought he came back.
I believe he played. Did he play 2 games?
Maybe, yeah.
But it's been.
It surprised me. I remember in the offseason, like people like posted pictures of his legs, and it was like one of his legs looked like it was like he had not worked out at all. Like one of them was like super weak looking, and the other one looked strong. And it was like, and I like at that point was like, all right, I don't want to draft this guy at all. But then I made the same mistake last year with J.K. Dobbins. So I was like, okay, I don't want to like make all my decisions based on one picture of this dude's leg. So I drafted some, and I wish that I had not drafted any. Yeah, at this point. Tez, strong pick there. I am going to pay. I'm going to take another value wide receiver in Wandale Robinson. Is 5,300. Nice matchup with the Bears. This is full PPR guy that gets targeted quite a bit. Did I hear? Was that an angry reaction from Wiley? Oh, I love that. That's just music to my ears. That is the best.
You're sick.
Don't like
You're a sick person.
Yeah. I'm glad that I could beat you to it. You're really regretting that third pick, aren't you?
Yeah, I thought it'd be sneaky, but you guys are too sharp, and you're just taking all the right plays. I love that game. Wandale. I mean, Jackson Dart is kind of matchup proof, I feel now.
Yeah.
He's legit. He puts up the volume in a good game against San Francisco last week, and now he goes to Chicago. And the Bengals made Chicago look great. Caleb Williams did not look great most of the game, but Bengals can't stop anything, and so Caleb's numbers looked really good. I think a lot of people go back to Caleb this week. I would probably prefer, if it wasn't Allen, I'd go to Dart. I like Wandale as a correlation there. The question is now, I think for me, I mean, you could go to Adunze, you could go to these guys that had a bad week. Adunze seems ripe to have a comeback week, but I'm going to say right now, did anyone take DJ Moore?
No.
I'm going to say take DJ Moore right now.
All right.
Yeah, DJ Moore. And then I need a running back. I need a value running back. Manungai is still available, correct?
Correct.
He is.
And I know he had a Q tag, and I know they're auditioning new running backs, but I think they believe in Manungai for workload. I don't think it's going to be Swift. I'm going to say Kyle Manungai.
Do you think that he's just earned the role, like going forward after that big game?
I think Ben Johnson said that as much this week. I said he earned exactly that role. And he looked great. I mean, and Caleb will check down to him, and you know, it was 180 yard. It was a 25-point game for you, Neil, without a touchdown. Without a touchdown,
right? That's pretty insane. Obviously, like no matchup is as good as Cincinnati, but like he looked good. So take away a little bit of efficiency, he's still going to look pretty strong.
Yeah. So I'm double stacking Bears right now, and we'll see what we get on the comeback here.
All right. So it's back to me. I felt safe in that last round not taking Dart because I knew Wiley had a quarterback. Mm-hmm. Now I might do Jake the favor of taking Dart, and then Jake can wait at quarterback since we both have them.
Well, Neil, my signature move is forgetting that two quarterbacks
I know,
are off.
But I'm reminding you that we've both taken.
Play it in Superflex, Neil.
Yeah, we could if DraftKings offered it. I actually don't know if that is an option. But I am taking Jackson Dart 5,700. Does he have the best projection, or maybe that's on? Well, let's see.
I believe on fantasypoints.com currently he has the best projection.
He has the best projection.
I imagine we probably see Josh Allen, maybe Lamar come up and pass him, but
but he's 5,700
half a point ahead of Allen. Yeah, I mean it's awesome value this week in Jackson Dart.
And then it's back to Jake. You have 33 left per pick and 2 picks now.
Yeah, definitely need to keep my eye out for value. None of these value tight ends, this feels like a really gross tight end slate. None of these value tight ends really catch my eye. You know what? I'm going to go with another value wide receiver and a guy that I really like and actually played a lot of last week in Parker Washington. I know Jacksonville just traded for Jacoby Myers, but this is a team that actually really likes Parker Washington. He's also operating a lot out of the slot, and historically in these Liam Cohen offenses, that slot role has been super valuable. That's part of the reason I was so excited about Travis Hunter this past week. Just 4,700. He's also one of the most targeted players on a per route basis this season. He just hasn't gotten many routes in the 4 games he's been full time. He's averaged about 15 expected fantasy points per game, which is a great usage for a player of that price tag. So a lot to like with Parker Washington. Obviously a tough matchup for this Jacksonville offense, but I think the price more than makes up for it.
Nice. And then you have another pick, right?
Yeah,
you do.
And things don't necessarily get any easier for me. I think I'm gonna I'm gonna round it out with my next favorite running back option, and then I'll just figure out the other values that I want beyond him. But Devon Achane this week looks pretty solid to me. Workload's been awesome. 21% target share, 19 expected fantasy points per game since Tyreek Hill went down. And this is a Buffalo defense that has generally funneled volume underneath. They've generally been a run funnel. Miami's also going to be playing from behind. There's really only two places the ball can go right now for the Dolphins. It's Jalen Waddle and it's Achane. So, like that pick as well.
Yep, Achane probably was going to be my next pick. So I didn't give you the satisfaction of an angry reaction, but I will calmly tell you that I was probably going to take Devon Achane with my next pick if you had not. All right, so that puts me in a bind. I only have one running back so far. I've got 2 wide receivers. Yeah. You've got McCaffrey, Dowdle, and Achane. So you have the top 3 projected running backs at fantasypoints.com currently.
Thank God. What could go wrong?
Yeah, nothing goes wrong there. Yeah. I am debating if I want to risk it. Let's see. I think I might.
What are you doing, Neil?
I think I might just risk it with James Cook, 7,500. I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to take James Cook, 7,500. Hope that he plays. Nice matchup with Miami. How do we feel about that, Wiley?
If I didn't have full confidence in Cook, I took Allen. So I'm not taking Cook. I don't want to have 3 touchdown scores for Buffalo, max 2. So I think it's a good pick. It'll probably be the one that wipes me, but I think I have to go running back here because it's getting a little bit sparse. My brain says don't chill on your plays after 1 week. Jahmyr Gibbs, one of you, I think your guest had Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yep.
I'm gonna go though Travion Henderson against the Bucs. Still had a decent week. This is a unique running back week. A few of the studs are out. Some of them are injured. I still think it's a value drop week. I'm going to stick with Travion Henderson. He didn't bring the 26 points that people expected last week against Atlanta. Atlanta's a better defense. Still had an okay week. They're playing the Bucs. I'm going Travion Henderson. I need a wide receiver. And to me, it's between ASB. I got to take a piece of this Washington game. Or it's Justin Jefferson. And I'm just looking at your eyes, both of you, as to which one you want more. And I know you want Jefferson because you're a Minnesota guy.
Yeah.
And now you believe in this quarterback you've got, which is absolutely dominating my For You tab on Twitter.
Yep.
I don't know what I stepped into. I think it's liking one of your tweets, but every other tweet is this bum rush for JJ McCarthy. I will go ASB. I'm on Ross St. Brown.
Nice. Okay. Amon-Ra St. Brown is 8,400 against Washington. Projects pretty well, and you still have plenty of salary left. Also, he has the second best projection at fantasy points. Tough to argue with that. And JJ is just $500 cheaper. Yeah, no, I think that is a very strong pick. And I don't know that I have the money to pay up there yet, so I'm gonna have to think about what money I do have. I'm debating if I want to go tight end here.
Man, it's a gross week at tight end.
It is a gross week at tight end.
Last week was a fantastic tight end slate. It showed in some of the scores that we got.
Yeah.
This week it is, especially sub 4K. It's like, guys like Schultz, AJ Barner, Cade Otton, Henry, Theo Johnson all project well, but they're all just so touchdown dependent. All guys who could very easily finish with 5, 6, 7 DraftKings points and do pretty little for your lineup.
Yeah, it's bad. It's very bad.
AJ Barner, though, occasional QB sneak. You might get the 1 yard rush.
You can get the tush push.
Sell him on Barner against the Cardinals, who just beat Dallas, and they just got Rashid Shaheed, and they have Arroyo. I like Barner too. Take it, Neil.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I'm gonna leave tight end, because it is so like I don't feel that great about it, and I am instead going to. Oh man, it's between a couple, and I'm really struggling with which one I like better here. I am going to go with. Oh no, I don't think I can do it. My projection tells me one thing, but then my watching the games and being a little bit afraid tells me something else. No,
Neil, shouldn't the watching the games influence the Neil Orfield projections?
They do actually influence the Neil Orfield projections, which are the only projections that I use, of course.
Yeah,
Jackson Smith and Jigba, all jokes aside, is absolutely matchup proof, and it doesn't matter who he's playing. I don't. It's and no one's going to play him this week at 86, and he's going to pull down 35.
I mean, it was Jackson Smith and Jigba that I was thinking about. Is he matchup? Because I just saw CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens have really bad games against this Arizona defense. They've been it's a terrible matchup for wide receivers. Right. But you're right. JSN has been.
He's Drake London though.
Has been just amazing. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to try to make that work with JSN at 8,600. Now I only have 3,500 left per player, but one of them is a tight end, one of them is defense. I think I can make that work.
You can make it work.
Jake, you have 2 picks left. You have 45.25 left per pick.
All right. I can obviously put off quarterback here. But man, I am unfortunately going to have to draft a tight end, which is a huge bummer considering what we've already said about this tight end slate. I'm actually going to go. I'm going to go with a way too cheap George Kittle. This disagrees with the projections a little bit, at least our projections. He's not popping as a fantastic value this week, but 4,500 for George Kittle. You know, a couple weeks ago he was 4,500. Prior to that, the last time he was 4,500 was in 2019. I don't think he's washed. This is a guy who averaged 16.5 fantasy points per game last year. This year that would rank as wide receiver 6. So yeah, give me George Kittle. Give me the 49ers. And then need a wide receiver and a defense here. Let's go with Jalen Waddle. I should be able to make that work. Basically all in on 2 of these offenses where the ball can only go to a few places in the 49ers and the Dolphins. But, I think betting on concentration is generally a good bet. Maybe not, maybe this isn't a lineup I'd love for a large field GPP, but for a 3-man, I think this is pretty reasonable.
Waddle was one of 3 wide receivers that I was considering with my last pick. Like the price is pretty nice on Waddle there, clearly. So I'm just hoping at this point for I guess I do have James Cook. I was thinking I don't have anybody from that game, and you guys are both loaded up, but no, I do have James Cook. So we all have pieces of that Buffalo-Miami game. All right, so I've got 3,500 left per pick. Let me see if I haven't given any thought to defense yet. So let me see if any of them look good, and none at the bottom are particularly enticing. Could go Giants, Saints against Carolina. Bryce Young is back. Jets defense is completely broken. Oh. Yeah, screw it. I'm going to go. Wait. I'm thinking I could hold off on this pick because there are so many that look relatively good, and I might be able to get a decent flex if I don't pay up. Now
this would be pretty early to grab a defense.
We only have 3 picks left, and I have tight end, defense, and flex. Are there? Let me just look if there. Let me look at flex picks real quick. See if there's anybody that I really like in the price range that I might be able to get up to. There's not really. It's kind of weak down here. No, you're right. I'm gonna go tight end first. A tight end, not any like standout options here. I think gonna go against what the projections are telling me and pay down for the lowest tight end that I think is a fairly strong play. Actually, Barton is a fairly strong play, but I'm actually going to go to David Njoku at 3,200. I just really love that matchup with the Jets. And he's only running about 50% of the routes, and he's got Dylan Gabriel throwing him the ball. But I do think Dylan Gabriel has, at least in his first game, targeted Njoku pretty heavily. And I think this matchup with the Jets just might be the nuts. So that's where I'm going with my tight end.
I will say, Neil, that when I was looking at some efficiency stuff, some touchdown rate stuff earlier in the week, it looks like they're leaning toward Fannin a lot more in the red zone inside the 10, which is certainly concerning for Njoku, but
yeah,
still easy to see him getting there. The price is solid, and I mean, Fannin's priced all the way up at what, 4,400,
42, I think.
40, yeah. 42? Okay, yeah. So, I think relative to the price, Njoku's still a solid option.
Tom asks, should I trade CeeDee Lamb for Judkins and T. Higgins? Probably not. I don't know. That's close, though.
I think I would lean no there. Would like to know scoring settings would probably help me a bit with that, but I mean the Cowboys offense has been so
and the rest of your
electric,
roster, obviously,
But yeah.
Okay, Wiley back on the clock. You've got 45-33 left per pick with a wide receiver, a flex, and a defense left. So you've got at least one more kind of pay up left.
Yeah, a lot of your teams have. I pre-built a team today, and a lot of your players have disrupted that. I will not complain, though. However, I am crafting something that I think would work. Now, I could either go like a Juwan Jennings, a Nico Collins, but since I'm theming on the Bucks New England game, and since I am, if you look back to Drake London being the highest score on the slate last week, mega optimal Drake London on the road at New England. I'm going to go with Agbuka in flex.
Okay.
Agbuka in flex. I'm going to say Godwin does not play.
I mean, you can just put him in the wide receiver spot.
It's wide receiver, yeah. But I kind of wanted a surprise for the wide receiver, and it's going to be Demario Douglas.
All right, I see. All right, so we're going. I'll grant your wish of going Douglas in the wide receiver spot.
Yeah.
And
I think Douglas' floor is pretty good. I think if this game shoots out, now I don't have the quarterbacks, which Drake May is going to burn you every week. But I'll that's not what I expected to do, but I'm here now. So Agbuka Douglas, I'm going to take that.
No booty this week should be better for Douglas, you'd think.
Yeah, I mean Douglas had a great week last week, and May can chuck it. So,
yep, I like it. So I mean, and that's a little mini stack there of New England Tampa.
Yeah,
and you've got Trevi on there as well. So yeah,
I got a stack to beat you too. I just have to. I don't.
Yeah. All right, so it's back to me. 36.50 left per pick. So I could. Let me take a look at my flex options. Huh. Are there any that I like? I have one in mind. Man. It is gross out here.
What are you looking for there, Neil?
I'm mostly looking for a running back, but if there are any wide receivers that pop out.
Yeah. The punt plays this week are not that appetizing.
Yeah. I will. Okay. Huh. I mean, I don't want Miami against Buffalo. I don't really want Washington against Detroit. What I can do is, you know what? I'm gonna take this. It's a little bit of a counter projection. Is this dumb? This might be dumb. I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna take the Cardinals defense.
Oh, you bastard! I thought I could wait on the Cardinals defense. Now I'm fried.
Wait, I think don't you have like 2,600 left?
Yeah, but the Cardinals was my sneaky work.
All right. I'm glad.
The Cardinals defense against your Jackson Smith and Jigba. I did not think you'd do that, but you did.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I mean, it's a 3-man. I've gotten the past 2 weeks. I've gotten -4 and 1 out of my defense.
Hell yeah.
It's still dominating. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Cage match.
Yeah.
All right. So I think these are two pretty easy selections for me. Our top value quarterback, at least right there with Jackson Dart, is Jacoby Brissett. This has just been a crazy saga for the Cardinals. Kyler Murray, not soft bench, hard benched. Jonathan Gannon was like, fuck that guy. Jacoby Brissett is our quarterback.
Yeah.
That was insane. And then immediately after, all the NFL insiders are like, no, Kyler's still hurt. They put him on IR. I'm sure Kyler's agent was doing some
big
frantic texts behind the scenes trying to get that news out there. But I mean, Brissett has played awesome. He's like kind of unlocked this Cardinals offense. He scored at least 20.
He's unlocked McBride getting touchdowns.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Marvin
McBride's
Harrison?
touchdown rate is finally normal now.
Kyler Murray's bad. I mean, the coach said in the offseason, he said, basically Kyler Murray decided he doesn't want to run anymore.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's bizarre.
And it's so frustrating too, because Kyler, even post ACL tear, is a god tier athlete. Like he's so athletic, and he needs to use that athleticism to be successful in the NFL, because he's just not, he's not the passer that the highest end quarterbacks are.
Yeah.
And the last time we saw Brissett was not good, but Brissett is now good in this Cardinals offense. He's also only 4,600. There are plenty of great cheap quarterbacks on this slate, so there are a few different directions I could have gone here, even with Jackson Dart off the board, but Brissett feels like a very nice play this week. And then at defense, I'm just going to go with our highest projected defense right now, and that would be the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Houston Texans offense playing a backup quarterback. I do fear that this is a spot where Davis Mills might pull like a Joe Flacco type of game, not in terms of passing volume, but just in terms of, I have one amazing wide receiver and I'm going to throw him the ball 800 times because that's how I'm going to stay 10 years in the NFL as a backup. And I know Ryan Heath, me and him were DMing earlier today, and he really likes the matchup this week for Nico Collins, who is finally pretty cheap. I was debating between Nico and Jalen Waddle earlier, but Jags defense projects really well. Davis Mills is a backup quarterback for a reason, and the Jags defense has been pretty decent this year overall.
Nice. Yeah, I think that is the right call. More likely that they just put it to him on Davis Mills.
Yeah.
All right, it's back to me. I have 5,100 for a reason. I specifically targeted that number. This might be dumb. I don't know if he's actually working. But Woody Marks, Nick Chubb didn't practice today. I think Woody Marks has that backfield anyway. Nice enough matchup with Jacksonville. The offensive line scares me, but he's a little bit involved in the passing game also. So I'm hopeful that Woody Marks can pay off his $5,100 price tag. And then it's back to Wiley with 2,600 left for a defense that cannot be the Jaguars. Or
you guys are cruel. I just could tell you that.
Yeah.
Both of you stole. Here's what I'm going to do because you didn't take your hometown Vikings team who dog walked Detroit on the road. Now you get them at home to Baltimore. Minnesota, maybe for real. I'm going to take Minnesota. Take the Vikings defense.
Yeah, Vikings, I mean, they have a good defense. I think they've been struggling against the run, but it's like all in the second half. It's like they're good until the offense sucks so much that the defense is on the field for like 80% of the time, and then they get worn down, and then other teams start running on them. So if JJ McCarthy plays well, then I think the defense can hold up better than it has so far. So Wiley, we've got your team on the screen right now. How do you feel about this team? You want to give a little review?
I like it. I think you got a couple of running backs I wanted. Overall, I think I can build a reasonable team with this. The one thing I do worry about is James Cook. If James Cook gets the 2 or 3 touchdowns, then I'm in trouble. So,
yeah.
Overall, I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I think it's a strong team.
I got to play this in the actual Millie though, right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. You always got to play it in the Millie also.
I enter my team in the Millie every week. Believe it or not, haven't won yet, but we're getting there.
You're trending.
I don't play it in the Millie Maker or any other contest. I'd probably have like 3 Millie Makers by now if I just played this.
Yeah,
played my
actually, you should. I would enter this in pretty much every contest, Neil. Whatever you draft, because your scores have been pretty strong.
They've been pretty high.
I like how your partner here gaslights you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they 180 points last week. That was pretty strong.
Solid. That's a great lineup. You know what the optimal lineup was? The best lineup possible was?
I saw your tweet, Wiley. It was an insane score.
I've never seen it that high. 307.
307, over 300 points.
Isn't that crazy?
That is so crazy.
Yeah.
And the winner was like 260 something, right?
Yeah, you had when you have
Like
Colston and Bowers for 8K going for 80 points. That's probably pretty good.
Yeah, that goes a long way. Yeah. My team, I've got the Jackson Dart stack with Wandale, Quinshon Judkins one off, James Cook counting on health there against Miami. I think should be able to put up points on Miami as long as he plays. If he doesn't play, kind of in a messy situation because I don't have any clear like pivots because Jake has the Achan right below him, so I can't take Achan. Irving's hurt, so it'd be kind of gross if James Cook doesn't play. But I'm counting on it. Zay Flowers, I think it's a fairly strong matchup with Minnesota. Wandale Robinson, slot funnel. Chicago just gives up all the fantasy points to slot receivers. JSN, as Wiley pointed out, is matchup proof. David Njoku, kind of a gut feel thing that he's just the price is a little bit too low. The matchup with New York, like points are going to be had there. I'm just hoping that they go to Judkins and Njoku. Woody Marks, I think, is just I think the best value or like the cheapest running back that I kind of like on this slate. Like I could put up 20 fantasy points, but probably only need like 14 there. And then Cardinals defense was just the most expensive defense that I could get and still fit Woody Marks in at the end. So I don't feel great about it, but we have seen Sam Darnold have those games where he completely falls apart. So I just need one of those for my Cardinals defense here. Jake.
And Njoku didn't get traded either.
So
there was rumors that he would, and he was happy that he didn't. So maybe he gets a gift. And Jets cannot cover the tight end.
Exactly. I thought for sure he was going to get traded, or they would trade somebody. But since he's still there, maybe you'll put up a big score here. Jake, you use a full salary cap. How do you feel about the team?
I did. I once again feel amazing about my team. Highest projected team in this contest based on the fantasy points projections. Got a lot of strong values here, especially a running back, Dowdle, McCaffrey, Achan, all really popping in our projections. Got some cheap guys in Tez Johnson and Parker Washington. Parker Washington in particular is a play who I really like this week. And then another volume hog in Jalen Waddle at wide receiver. And then, of course, best quarterback the Cardinals have seen in many years in Jacoby Brissett to help finish out my lineup.
Sad but true.
Yeah.
Sad but true.
It is.
I would just like to talk about some slander in chat from Debro. Says, Neil still avoiding getting crushed by me in the cage. You hate to see it. I'd like to point out that I've invited Debro on to the cage match multiple times, and he says, oh no, I'm still writing my primer. I can't do the... If you want to come on, Debro, if you want to come on the cage match next week, you're invited. I don't have a guest yet for next week. Debro, if you want to be our cage match guest next week, you are invited to come on and take Neil, who will at that point will be on a 5-week winning streak. Come on down, Debro. Put your money where your mouth is.
I think we also got an interesting question in the chat about Jacoby Myers. He's a guy who I don't think will be particularly involved this week, but in a couple weeks may end up actually being a pretty decent fantasy contributor for the Jags. I'm curious if you guys have any thoughts there.
Yeah, I think he's going to be good in a couple weeks. I don't know that he's going to get there yet. But yeah, I think he will be strong. See Tom calling Debro a coward. Debro immediately says, "Oh, move it to Friday, move it to Thursday." I was can't do Thursday.
I mean, you got to work around us. Yeah, hey, this is our show.
Hey, Debro, I'll make any day work. You let me know. You and me on this show.
Nice. Yeah, we'll have the cage match just Wiley and Debro on Friday.
That's it.
Yeah, there you have it.
That's perfect.
Yeah. All right. Well, Wiley. Is your official title president at Rum? I forget. People call you Prez. I was thinking the CEO. Yeah.
Prez informally, but Prez on the operating agreement. So it's an actual title. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Prez at Rum Pure Sports. What do you? Anything you want to shout out before we get out of here?
No, I love you guys. This is a really cool concept. Appreciate having me on. The Prez, yes, I'm here.
That's right.
Yeah, check us out, Run Pure Sports. Follow me on Twitter at Wiley77. And what happens to the guys who beat you, the guests? Do they come back, or do you what? You never invite them back, or what?
Not in the same year. So I usually don't do repeating guests this year. Wow. But yeah, I mean, just because it's I don't know. I think more. I guess maybe it'd be easier for me. I'd be happy to have guests back on. It would be an easier thing for me if I think I've just gone out of to try to get new guests every week, and then the next year then I repeat guests historically. But I would
never lose. Fantasy Point says you never lose.
It's almost true. It's not entirely true. Yeah. I definitely invite guests on if they beat me, because then I need to get my revenge. That's when I'll definitely.
Neil won't invite them back.
Yeah. Jake, anything you want to let people know about before we get out of here?
Yeah, cashing points every Friday on the Fantasy Points YouTube channel at 7 p.m. Normally, it's me, Graham Barfield, and Ryan Heath. I will be out this week for a wedding. I'm driving all the way to Youngstown, Ohio. So I will be missing the show, but Scott Barrett will be filling in for me. So
where are you
Scott
based?
I'm in Augusta, Georgia. So it's going to be, I'm driving 11 hours on Friday. I'm drinking all day Saturday, and then I'm driving 11 hours on Sunday. It's that's gonna be a bit of a grind, but
That drive
honestly,
to Ohio is tough, man.
it's one of those where it's like, if this guy wasn't one of my best friends, I just would not be going. But that's the unfortunate part with weddings, is they all take place during the busy season for work.
Yeah.
And then of course Scott Barrett's Slate Breakdown, I will still be helping him out with that. That comes out Saturday mornings over on fantasypoints.com. And then Neil reminded me last week, I always forget to shout this out, but I also do an early look show with Graham Barfield that comes out Monday evenings over on the Fantasy Points Spotify account. I believe it's called the NFL DFS Deep Dive. So you can check that out if you want a quick 25-30 minutes, just an early look ahead on that week's DFS slate. Already out for this week, and obviously next week's will be out Monday afternoon.
Yeah, definitely check that out. I'll have my Thursday Night Football article out at Fantasy Points tomorrow. Of course, I'll be doing slate breakdowns on the Flannelverse YouTube channel, both in the afternoon with Adam Scherer, and then on my own about 85 minutes prior to lock. I'll fire it up as well, breaking down Thursday Night Football. And then, of course, on Saturday, Outside the Box with Scott Barrett, as usual, breaking down the main slate. All right, that is going to do it for the cage match for this week. Really appreciate you, Wiley. Appreciate you, Jake, as always, and appreciate everybody hanging out with us, watching the show. We'll be back next week. Good luck this weekend. See you next week.
What?
Why are you shaking your head?
You're welcome.